Hello to all of our subscribers, and you're probably wondering why it took me a long time to create another vlog because so much to do around the house. When you're gardening, it's taking up a lot of your time. You have to wake up. I mean, when I say you have to wake up with the sun, as you have to rotate your plants, you have to water them, you have to check for pests, and if you have like more than 100 plants like me in and out of the house, you have to go around every corner of the house where there is a plant and make sure that it's taken care of. So an advice to all the beginners who are trying to get their hands on plants: don't go for a plant because it looks good in a space. You buy the plant for the space, meaning you have to analyze where you will put the plant first and then buy the appropriate plant for that space. A lot of the customers from Choose to Grow, by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel and if you haven't followed my Instagram and my Facebook page for my plants, it's at Choose to Grow. I will give the description down below and the link to it. And the reason why I'm asking all of you guys to join me in all of my stories daily is because I regularly get questions from buyers on which appropriate plant to buy if, for example, they live in a condo with minimal windows, almost from low to non-existent light. And I really get sad because if you're a person and you feel anxious and depressed in a space like that, how much more for a plant that is stuck there in a pot and doesn't know how to take care of itself without your help. So rule of thumb is, if you're in an area, whether it's a room, a bathroom, whatever kind of space you have, if you can't stay there for days and days and days, I'm sure your plant will not like it too. So that's the rule of thumb. Next, the most important thing is sunlight. So they always ask me, Miss Tuesday, where will I start? I don't know which plant to get. I have one small window and there's a wall, and I have a small balcony that doesn't get any light, south facing, whatever. I don't claim to be an expert, but it's very basic. It's a living thing. It needs to make food. It needs to thrive. And for it to thrive, much like you who needs oxygen, plants need sunlight, water, and the carbon dioxide from the air. So I have made this list for everyone to finally answer your questions. Which plant should I get for my space? So today we're tackling low to medium light plants, and these are my favorites. And so far I haven't killed any one of these. When I was starting, I killed a lot of big plants because I was so brave and I thought I could make these things grow with the space that I had at that time. But I've learned in the years that I've cultivated and took care of these babies that you really need to consider the lighting and space of an individual space before buying a plant. Okay, so enough of the chit chat. Let's proceed with our first plant for the day. It's so heavy. A spider plant, sorry. Spider plant. Okay, so it has babies. I water this maybe around 2 weeks in between because it doesn't really need a lot of water, especially if it's in a big pot like this and can contain a lot of moisture. But this is a drinker actually, so it depends on the size of your plant. If you have a thirsty plant, which spider plants are, then water them accordingly. Just get a moisture meter so that you know the moisture content of your soil and what your plant needs. But basically you just leave it anywhere and it will thrive. It's in the corner part of our first floor, but this receives light. So before it was in a dark corner upstairs, but it doesn't grow, it doesn't flourish, it's not so green, there are brown spots everywhere. But since I decided to put it down where it receives a lot of light, it shot babies. There's a lot of babies happening there. So this is the ZZ plant, all right? They call it the easy plant. So if you kill a ZZ plant, you're a bad person. So this is next to impossible to kill. Okay, back to the ZZ plant. So for beginners and for those who don't have a lot of light in their spaces and don't have a lot of time, those with brown thumbs, busy office workers, or even if you're working from home and you're engaging in Zoom meetings daily and you somehow, oh, I have a plant, I forgot. Oh yeah, if you forgot that you have a living thing living near you, this is the perfect plant for you. So I got the variegated kind. So if you will see the leaves, it's not as green as the other ZZ plants because it has this somehow yellow and white splashes on the leaves. And for some reason, I really love variegated plants because the more imperfect they are, the more in love I am with them. So, and ZZ plants are really gorgeous because they are like so proud. They're just opening up like that, and they're so sturdy, and they just stand upright all day. And you can put this in the corner of your room. Mine is upstairs on top of a shelf, and its distance from the nearest light source is around 5 feet or 7 feet, something like that, and doesn't really care. It's thriving, and it has babies coming out in just a few. There. All right, so that's the ZZ plant for you. Why is it called the ZZ plant? So I can't pronounce this. I have to read it. Zamioculcas zamiofolia. Ayan. So para mas madali, ZZ plant na lang or easy plant for those of you who are plant killers. The next easy indoor plant that I'm going to introduce is the baccalaureus. Oh, ouch! Ow! They fight back! The baccalaureus. Oh, so when I got this guy, he was really small, but they're actually fast growers. Snake plants, if placed in a well-lit room, will give you growth, but they can thrive in a low light space, and if you put them in a corner or in your bathroom, they will remain like this. So the only thing that you can do to kill this is to overwater it. So the first mistake that all beginner plant lovers commit is to overwater their plants. So they think, oh, if I water my plants, it will grow big and strong. No, there is such a thing as drowning. So if you're a person and if somebody keeps on putting water in your mouth and you don't want to drink it, then I'm sure you will not like it. So don't do that to your plants. When I first buy them, I weigh them and I record. I just put in a notebook how much they weigh if they're fully watered. So after a week or so, I weigh them again, and if it's a sturdy plant like this, it doesn't have any much difference. So you have to water it sparingly between 3 to 4 weeks. Sometimes I forget that they exist in that corner, but they bring so much life and vibrance to that space, and I thank God that I haven't killed any one of these things yet. So they're also similar to snake plants, another one of my favorites. Yeah. I have a white snake over here. So the white snake isn't easy to kill, and it's much like the baccalaureus. It retains moisture and you can't forget about it. It thrives in low to medium light, but it actually grows faster and much better and gives you more foliage if you put it in a well-lit room. Actually thrives in bright light. So put it in a bright spot, but if you can't, it will also not die on you. So poisonous, by the way, the easy plant, it's easy to take care of, but every part is poisonous. So keep it away from small children or pets that nibble on the leaves, that might nibble on the leaves, like your dogs and your small cats in your house, because they will get poisoned by it. Next, for those condo peeps out there with a plantita vibes. Diba when you first move into an apartment and then this comes to your door and with a ribbon and a note as a housewarming gift, because it's so pretty. The anthuriums that I got are of different colors. I have a coral one upstairs, I have a black one, and this one is the more popular kind, the white and green ones. There you go. And they live like that in husks, coconut husks. So again, don't water this too much, and if you put it somewhere with almost no light, but please don't put your plants in a zero lighting situation. Low to medium light. it will lose all of its flowers. So once in a while, if you want to retain the flowers, put it in a brightly lit, indirect lighting inside of a room that has bright indirect light. Okay, there you go. So that it will retain all these pretty flowers. There you go. Philodendrons. Let me talk about philodendrons. When I got this guy, I was a guest at a TV show, and they have a bazaar outside of the compound where we were taping, and I got this heartleaf philodendron. It was so small. It was somewhere here in the middle, and I bought it, to be honest, because of the container, because I really liked it and it fits the aesthetic of my room. But somehow it got stunted and it didn't really grow because it was near my bookshelf, and the big books that I have are blocking the sunlight to get to it, and of course the plant cannot make food. And I decided to rearrange the room, clean it up a bit, and put it somewhere where it receives medium light to bright indirect light. And look, after just like 4 months, look, from that small thing, it has so much growth around it. And my cats love to play with it, but I put it away from them because I don't know if it will harm them or anything. Next, okay, pothos. Yos. This is actually a cutting that I propagated, and look, this is less than a month, and look how happy it is. Yeah, that's the enjoy. So I have a small one, and I took the cutting from this mother plant. There she is. There she is. I can actually lift this. It's a bit heavy. Like, oh, woo. There you go. So much growth. Yeah, and if you can see where the planter is, it grows on one side but not on that side, because this is the side that faces the wall. And if you see here, this is where the sunlight is, so all the growth is pushing towards that direction. So again, you wake up early because you rotate your plants so that they grow evenly, and all the sides of the plant receive as much light equally as the rest of the parts of the plant. Okay, next, peace lilies, spathiphyllum, sabi ni Plantarina. I like a spathiphyllum because it's so easy to take care of. Again, I got the variegated kind, so you will see the colors on the leaves. It has a lot of different patterns on it, green, different shades of green. And if you put this in a low to medium light situation, again, like the anthurium, it would lose or not make any flowers at all, much like this one. So if you're like me, I'm not such a fan of planted flowers, although my other business is I'm a wedding stylist, and I use a lot of cut flowers in my other business. When it comes to potted plants, I like to keep them like this, more foliage heavy than flower heavy. Just to keep it a little bit more androgynous in the garden. Like, it's not so feminine because I'm not really the feminine kind of girl. So I really like the peace lilies. And again, peace lilies are, aside from being pretty and easy to take care of, they're very symbolic. So if you're also just a person who's starting with this new journey in your life as a plant lover, if you buy a peace lily, it signifies that the plants are welcoming you into their space, and they want you to take care of them. So I got one of the first plants I got when I started out was a peace lily. Next, in my easy to take care of plants in low light situations is the aglaonemas. Alright, so there are so many kinds of I'm not an expert, but I really love the dark green ones, and the dark green ones with the pink in them, and the orange and the red. And I love these, and they can tolerate a lot of different heavy, hard situations. Just leave it and let it be, and it will not die. And last in my list would be a controversial plant, because A lot of plant lovers say it's maarte kasi they require distilled water for you to nourish them. But to be honest, I don't use distilled water in a lot of my calatheas, my calatheas. Wow, calatheas. Because they're my babies, yes, but some of them I find they like regular tap water. You just have to let it sit overnight so that the fluoride and all the other chemicals decreases in time and oxidizes, and using distilled water in all of imagine how much distilled water I need to have in the house so that I can water them properly. Okay, this is the fishbone. Alright. Sonantes. Ang hirap i-pronounce. Maranta. Sonantes. There you go. It's called a fishbone prayer plant because of the pattern on its leaves. It's not so perfect. Mahirap ma-perfect to eh. Napaka-matampuhin nila. They're so matampuhin, but if you get their groove and what they need, these are one of the easy things to take care of in a small space with little to medium light. You can buy these calatheas, and at night you can watch them move, because the reason why they're called prayer plants is at night, just like this, they're like moving towards the center to protect the temperature level of the plant. So if it gets too cold or too hot, the leaves tend to move towards the center. But if it's pleasant and it's just the way they like it, they open up. So they're very much like people, if you're loving and kind, they'll open up to you. But if you're cruel and unkind, they will close up. So I really, really love these. Okay, there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and please like and subscribe to my channel, and also follow my plant business page, which is at Choose to Grow, and also on Facebook and Instagram, and follow my personal page, Tuesday Vargas, at Tuesday_V on Instagram. And to all of you plant lovers, let's choose to grow. Alright, thank you so much. Bye.